Yo, what's good people? It's TooBizyGaming. We're live, we're direct, and we are in full effect. Yes, we're back. I've been itching to talk about this one. Square Enix blessed us. They invited us to come and get some hands-on time with Final Fantasy XVI at a secret location. We got to play the game for 4 hours at different parts of the story and indulge in the game completely. The hospitality from Square Enix was absolutely amazing and the location matched the game settings perfectly. Now, in this video, we're going to be going over 16 things we discovered during our playtime. And of course, this is all from our own personal experience. So to the best of my knowledge, there is some stuff that's already been out there. Obviously, we've only just got some hands-on time with this game recently. So we might cover some stuff that you already know, but I'm sure there's a handful of things that you don't know yet, so keep it locked. Now, aside from the trailer just shown, we do have some brand new gameplay footage provided straight from Square Enix, so it will help us show a few of the points that we're going to make throughout the video. And of course, if you enjoy this video, a like will be highly appreciated. Definitely sub up to the channel. We got plenty more Final Fantasy XVI content coming your way. Of course, when the game drops, we will be covering some stuff as well. Listen, stick around. We do have another video dropping later today, which is our first impressions of the game, so keep your eye out on that one. But without further ado, let's get straight into this video. Now, for the first point that we're gonna make, it is based down to the performance of the game. Yes, we get two options for the playstyle, which are performance and frame rate. When we first started off our gameplay, it was in performance mode, looked absolutely fantastic. However, after the first cutscene, we changed it over to frame rate mode, and listen, we didn't change back. It did not drop a frame in some of the cutscenes where we thought it was going to. Honestly, it was fantastic. The game is beautiful. Now, for the second point, it is down to the gameplay style of the actual game. There's two different modes. You have story mode and you have action mode. Story mode is for the mode where people want more assistance. They want accessories that's going to help them out throughout the entire gameplay of the game. And then you have the action mode, which is more for the seasoned players, something where it rewards perfect gameplay and allows you to have as much freedom with the game as possible. Now, for the third point, combat is titled as true real time. This is more in the direction that Crisis Core 7 Remake has headed in, but with more direction towards a hack and slash. The one game that I could honestly compare it to is something like a Devil May Cry, where it's very rewarding for perfect style gameplay, your dodges and your maximum combos. However, it still does have a lot of the heavy RPG elements within the game. Now, for point 4, we're going to dive a little bit into the gear. And the gear in this game allows different skills. Some accessories are very reminiscent of previous Final Fantasy games. Things like auto dodge, auto parry, slowing down time when you do a normal dodge, and complex combos made a lot easier. This, again, it assists your story gameplay, where if you just want to kind of indulge in the story of Final Fantasy XVI without having to worry about super difficult fights, these accessories are for you. There are a few points that we do mention about these accessories, so keep it locked. Now, for point 5, one of the most important things for me in almost every single game that I play is OSTs. And of course, in the base of operations, where you get to do a lot of your shopping, set building, armor buying, and gear buying, all of that type of stuff, there is an orchestrion device where you can actually change up the OST that is playing whilst you are browsing. Some of the theme songs that I expect to be played as OSTs from this device are things like the battle theme, intro theme, boss battle music, and things like that. I'm hoping that maybe in the future with some DLCs, we can actually get some themes from previous Final Fantasy games that we can play and potentially change the actual battle music to maybe the Final Fantasy VII battle music or previous titles. That would be really cool. Now, for point 6, on the topic of gear, there was a few recipes and materials that we found during the adventure and the open world segment that we got to play through. Whilst we were roaming around, like I said, we found recipes and materials which you can take to the blacksmith to create new and upgrade existing gear. That is where the RPG elements came into it. We found that if we equip certain accessories and certain different pieces of gear, we actually maximized on combo enders, elemental damage, and loads of other RPG elements as well. Now for point 7, just like your typical Final Fantasy game, enemies do have a stagger meter. When staggered, they take 150% more damage. Perfect blocking, parrying slows down time and allows more powerful hits. Perfect dodges can be chained. We found that after doing about 2, it allowed us to counter. We needed to test this a little bit more, but every time that we did about 2, we ended up getting an exclusive action which dealt quite a bit of damage and brought us closer to the enemy. Parrying and dodging the enemy built their stagger meter up a lot, which means that the game is rewarding of a more perfect playstyle. Point number 8, as we played through the game, found different recipes and materials, we also found certain accessories that affect the attributes of your character, which is very similar to previous Final Fantasy games when it comes to different builds of certain characters in your team or the character that you're picking to be. And just like most RPG games, this will play a massive part in building a loadout for your preferred playstyle. Some people might want more of an elemental build or something that optimizes on spells as opposed to the actual combo moves, and this is something that you're gonna have to kind of sit in the lab and cook up a specific set for your preferred style. Point number 9, just like other Final Fantasy games, there is a skill tree, and having a browse through this skill tree of course will unlock new abilities, combos and character actions. This will make the flow of combat 10 times smoother and more rewarding when used in conjunction with accessories that benefit combat. So combining pretty much majority of the points that we made before, optimizing a specific build whilst accompanying it with certain things from the skill tree will make combat smooth for yourself and allow you to come up with the perfect build for your character to, you know, take down enemies super duper quick. One thing that we did notice was that a lot of the skills are super different. So we had to take the time to understand what each move actually did and if it was actually beneficial for our style of play. Some of the moves rushed really close towards the character, whereas some of them stayed far back but shot 3 shots instead of just 1. And believe me when I tell you, the skill tree is crazy. I know I just said it, but honestly, take your time, read through each one and make sure that you're spending the skills on the right skill that's going to benefit you. Now for point 10, the skill tree expands tremendously. Even though I just mentioned that it is huge as it is, it expands even further when you unlock more icons. And this not only changes spells, but it does change some of the combos that you use during combat. Mastery of each icon and blending the combos will be the key to the smoothest combat. They have shown some of the different moves in previous trailers. So as you can see, there's different icon images on the top left-hand corner, and that just indicates that the moveset's going to be different. Some of the spells might be different, and the way how Clive is moving, depending on which icon is selected, changes the combos completely. Now for point 11, I know that this one is common knowledge, but training mode is in the game, so it allows you to test out new moves, new combos, master the flow of combat as well if you want to launch the enemy up in the air and figure out what combo actually goes into whatever launcher that you've just done. Training mode allows you to do that. It also allows you to change the enemy type, how many enemies are there, and just gives you the run of the mill on how to use certain skills. Now for point 12, there is a feature in the game called active time lore. Active time lore most probably is one of my favorite features that this game offers. You can find out character lore information during the cutscenes. If there's a certain character that you might not be familiar with active time lore available, you simply press the middle button and it will bring up the different characters that are involved in the cutscene. You can hover over to them, select whichever character it is, and then it will give you a breakdown on what the character is, who they are, what they're doing, also a little breakdown of their intention, and that will keep you up to date just in case if it's all a little bit overwhelming with meeting all of these new characters. This is a fantastic way just to keep you up to date with who is who and what is what. Now for point 13, you do get teammates throughout different segments of the game. However, you cannot control them, and by control them, I mean you don't get the option to turn them into aggro mode or turn them into defensive, healing. You literally just have to let them rock and do whatever it is that they want to do. Now, I thought that because the characters that are joining you on a specific journey can't be influenced with actions, that they might just be useless, stand around and not do anything. However, some of the characters that we played with actually stood their ground. They healed, made sure that they held enemies down, even defeated some enemies as well. So it was really impressive to see that the NPCs actually had a good mind of their own. And as the story progresses, the teammates vary depending on what section you are in. So at some points, it'll just be you and Torgal, whereas it might be you, Torgal, and Sid. Now, point 14, on the topic of Torgal, who is your pet wolf, you do get to influence him with some actions. You can command him to heal, attack, and some character buff style spells as well. And I know that this is common knowledge once again, but it was really nice to kind of do your combo and then activate a specific spell or put him more in the offensive mode. Having that assist during certain missions really does increase the flow of combat, as mid combo, or if you know that something has a heavy cooldown, you know that you can actually send Torgal out and then he'll be able to do certain actions to keep the combo and the ranking up. Now for point 15, hub sections of the game is rich with loads of people to talk to and lots to discover. During our playtime, we actually spent a fair amount of time when we should have been out there killing enemies and doing all of that crazy stuff. Spent it actually speaking to a lot of the NPCs and finding out some of the story. A lot of the NPCs that we spoke to gave us some unanswered questions, answers, items to collect, side missions to accept, and various other things to do. The first base of operations is Sid's hideaway, and this is pretty much where you'll be reporting to, going back, crafting gear, accepting missions, and lots of other things. And then finally, point 16, the open world is large and vast, with lots of different tasks to complete alongside the ability to fast travel to places you've previously visited, and as long as you progress, you can travel around on your chocobo. Some areas are unlocked as you progress through the story and will also show different icons, so be sure to explore as much as possible. Of course, completing different side missions offers fresh rewards, new gear, potentially new skills as well. That's something that we didn't really tuck into, but we saw that there was an option there. So try and smash out as many of those side missions as possible. And that is it for this video. Listen, if you liked, enjoyed, or found something out that you didn't know before, please drop a like. And of course, like I mentioned before, sub up to the channel. We'd greatly appreciate it. Keep your eyes on the channel as we will have our hands-on impression uploaded very soon. So you'll be able to watch that and just indulge in all things Final Fantasy XVI. If there's anything else that you would like to find out about the game, if we do get another opportunity to have hands-on, we will definitely get those questions answered. Either join up on the Discord, make a comment down below, or just reach out. We will be able to sort that out for you, no problem. Again, that's it from us. It's TooBizyGaming. We're out of here. Peace.